Hey guys, it's On here. I'm going to show you guys how to do 90s blowout with my lovely model Vanessa here. Before I do that, I prep the hair with some Milbon Repair Protective Shampoo. Really great for someone who blows out the hair a lot, use a lot of curling irons and hot tools. So I like to put this in before, and it's a shampoo. It goes on really easily, really well. It lathers really awesome for this. And then follow up by the treatment. And the treatment goes from mid-shaft to ends. The consistency is really awesome, especially when it comes to the treatment, AKA conditioner. They call it treatment, but it's pretty much a conditioner. You can leave it on a little longer if you like, if your ends are a little bit dry. But you can definitely put it in and rinse it out. And again, I like to put this in mid-shaft to ends, all right? And then I like to towel dry hair really well. Very important that you do towel dry the hair really well, because if you don't, you dilute the products, any kind of products. I think in general, just a rule of thumb, always towel dry the hair really well before you put any kind of leave-in. And I like to use the Repair Heat Protective Mist. Super lightweight, really great for all types of hair. One thing I do love about the Repair Heat Protective Mist is that it's lightweight, it's water-based, so it goes in the cuticle really well and it repairs from the inside out. So very important that you use this before you blow dry, curling iron, or flat iron. And especially with her hair being this length, and she does have quite a bit of hair, I like to use about 7 to 8 spray. Play some all over, but concentrate on the ends and mid-shaft, okay? Because that's where a lot of the dryness of the hair, especially when someone's hair is this long, are concentrated at. So that's where the crispy ends are at. It helps to create flexibility, it really helps to create some movement. Yeah, I like this a lot because it's lightweight. Okay? And then use a paddle brush. Make sure that you really get the products in there. And I'm gonna start from the ends, working my way up to the scalp, okay? And make sure that you brush it all the way through so there's no tangles. So after I paddle brush, I'm gonna go ahead and rough dry her hair. I'm gonna be using the Supersonic blow dryer, and I'm gonna be using low speed and high heat. And I just want to make sure that I get all of the moisture. I would say like, no, I would say like 50% of the moisture. And then I'm gonna add in another product to help to give it some body, okay? You wanna make sure you move the hair around so you get some airflow into the scalp. So that's what I'm doing when it comes to rough drying. And you want to make sure that you move the hair all different directions. And then I'm going to turn the speed up to number 2 and high heat. And keep on moving the hair in different directions because I don't want the hair to be flat. And I would say about 50% dry, and then I'm gonna add some thickening mist. So, you know, I know you guys can't touch this, but I can feel how soft and flexible the hair is. It glides really easily, you know? So It's really good thing, especially when you do a lot of heat styling. So before I continue, I'm gonna add some thickening mist onto her roots because I really want a little bit more volume on the roots and a lot more bounce on the roots. So this is the thickening mist and it has number 4 hold. So it's really good for like body, a lot of bounce, great for blow drying. And again, I like to section out the hair and apply this onto the roots. Okay, and just a couple spray. Mainly focus on the roots. And that's it. And then you want to massage it into the roots. Okay, and that's it. And then I'm going to start smoothing out her hair, and I'm going to start out my blowout. I'm going to start my 90s blowout. I'm going to start with the front first. So I'm going to take a section radio ear to ear and start from the bottom and working my way up. Just going to lock her in real quickly. There you go. Take about maybe a 2-inch subsection. And I'm going to be taking a larger boar bristle brush, especially with texture. I really want to add a lot more volume into it, a lot more bounce into it. And I'm going to tuck the ends in so she has a little bit more of like my idols, like always. I love the Cindy Crawford blowout from the 90s where it's nice and bouncy and very, ends are tucked in, so very, very sexy. I'm gonna be using a different nozzle. This is more of a concentration nozzle, so it really helps to direct the heat. All right. So I do want to make sure that when you blow dry and give you that 90s look, that you want to make sure that you give it a lot of body. Tuck the ends in, roll it in, and then blow dry up the cuticle to give it a lot of volume, and do the same. And tuck the ends in. Like so. All right. Last but not least, once you blow her out, use a cool shot. I'm going to use a cool shot to set in the wave. Like so. And then just let it drop. Okay, like so. And then I'm gonna continue all the way up until I get to the very top part. I'm gonna leave a Mohawk section out. I'm gonna blow dry all of that back, okay? So I have one more section here until I leave the Mohawk section out. So I'm gonna take another, about, I would say, 1 to 2 inch subsection. Okay, brush this out before you start blow drying. And it brushes out so well. You want to make sure that you allow enough body into the hair, so you want to elevate this up. Like so. And give her hair a lot more volume, a lot more body. Tuck the ends in. All right, like so. Then I'm gonna do a cool shot to set in the waves. Like so, just leave that down. And then I'm gonna move on to the other side. Can continue the same on this side, working from the bottom up. Take about like 2-inch subsection, between like 1.5 inches to 2-inch subsection. Pin this out of the way. I'm gonna brush this out before you start blow drying. And then you're gonna drop this section down like so. Now we're going to continue on to this side. Turn the heat back up. I'm elevating this really high, so I can get a lot more volume to it. Again, do the same. All right, like so. We continue this. I really love a 90s blowout. I really like the body. I love the movement. It's very, very sexy, and it has a lot of good bounce to it. You always have to make sure that you do a cool shot at the end, so it sets in the waves or the curls that you want. Okay, and I'll move on to the next section. And I'm gonna leave a Mohawk section at the end so I can blow everything back. Pin this out of the way. I'm just gonna brush this out. Like so. And then drop this down. Okay, and then continue doing the same as you're working your way up. Tuck the ends in. Don't forget the cool shot once you're done. Let that sit. And we're gonna let this mohawk sit until we finish the back, okay? So now I'm gonna move on to the back part. All right, I'm gonna do the same. Work from the bottom all the way up. Okay, notice that the repair heat protectant mist is so good. It makes the hair so much easier to blow dry towards the end. And I have to say, it just makes my life so much easier, especially when it comes to blow dry. You want to make sure that you protect the hair really nicely and it glides through the hair really easily. All right, you want to make sure you brush this out before you start blow drying. Anytime when you rough dry the hair, the ends sometimes gets a little bit caught up with the other ends, so you just want to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. Okay. Again, you want to make sure that you add a lot of volume to this. So I'm blow drying everything up. Tucking the ends in. All right, you want to make sure that you do a cool shot. Tuck the ends in, leave that, and then we're gonna work our way up to the top. So I'm gonna work my way up, and I'm gonna take a section, again about like an inch to 2 inch wide, and then work my way up. And again, before you start, you wanna make sure that you paddle brush, smooth this out. Right? And then you want to drop this hair. All right, do the same. Add a lot of volume. Tilt her head slightly on the other side. Elevate this. Tuck the ends in. Do a cool shot. And then move up to the next section. pin this out of the way. I'm going to split this one in half because it's a really big section. Okay, make sure that you twist this out of the way. Let this drop. Continue. All right, my next section, take another section about 1.5 inches to 2 inches wide. And brush this out. Drop this down. Okay, and this will be my next section. Just gonna turn her around slightly. Again, elevate this up so you can get a lot more body, a lot more volume. Then you're gonna let this cool. Do a cool shot. Okay, I'm gonna continue with another section about 1 inch to 2 inch wide. Okay, pin this out of the way. Go ahead and brush this out. Elevate this up. Do the same. Again, I'm adding a lot of volume into this, so I'm over-directing the section up so I can get a lot more movement. And I like the one thing about the Repair Heat Protector, it glides so easily towards the ends. And then don't forget the cool shot. Okay, like so. And then And then I'm just gonna brush this out. This is gonna be my last section before I move on to the Mohawk, okay? And make sure you over direct this up to give it some body. Don't forget your cool shot. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to the Mohawk section. All right, I'm gonna leave this last, and the reason why I wanna leave this last is because I want her hair to go back. And therefore she can part it one way or versus the other way, so it's really nice and very versatile, and it creates a lot of bounce, okay? All right, I'm gonna take this Mohawk section out, divide this in half. And one thing I do want to make sure is that I don't want to make it too straight either. I just want to give it a little more texture to it, so there won't be such a definition to it. Brush this out. Like so. Okay, and drop this down. I want to tilt her head slightly back so I can get more volume into it. All right. Go. So you want to be over directing this section right here. To give a lot of volume and a lot of body to it. Over direct this part. Smooth out the cuticle. The repair heat protective makes it a lot easier, especially in the ends. So easy to tuck these ends in. It's really great for someone who blow dries their hair very, very often, or use a lot of curling irons, straightening irons, a lot of hot tools. Then cool it down. Don't forget the cool shot. Like so. And then move on to the next section, which is your last section. All right, I'm just gonna brush the ends out a little bit and then blow dry this back. Like so. And drop this. Okay. spin her this way so I can really get into the front piece here. I'm over-directing this forward. Let's turn her this side so you guys can see what I'm doing. Just kidding. Hold up, hold up. There you go. Tighten her a little bit. There you go. Right, do the same. Again, elevate it up and tuck the ends in, like so. Right, don't forget your cool shot. Cool this down before you set it. All right. Last but not least, I'm just gonna run my hands through it, let it sit for a couple minutes, and then you can let it go. Push this back. And then give her head a little bit more of a shake all the way through. Just make sure I run my hands through it. So I don't want it to be like super 90s, but at the same time, it's like an inspiration from the 90s. And especially when it comes to, they do a lot of side parts back in the 90s. And especially off to the side, and then always want to give it a little more volume on the roots. And then there you have it. If I do want more body into it, I am gonna do a little bit of a dry texturizing spray towards the roots, just to give it a little more messy appeal to it. I don't wanna be too perfect, you know? But I love the body, I love the texture, and the ends feels really good. And as you can see, this is before adding any finishing products into it, okay? Ends feels really good, has a lot of movement, a lot of body to it, a lot of bounce. All right, I'm actually gonna bring this up a little high. There, you guys can see, especially the ends. It's very nice and tucked and very polished. So that's one thing that's really important. And yeah, it feels really good. I mean, her ends are usually a little bit more crispy. So having that repair heat protect mist and the shampoo and treatment is really, really, really good plus. All right, last but not least, I'm gonna spray a little bit dry texturizing spray onto the roots. I really want a little more texture onto it. So I can't help, I love this product so much. So it's really good additive onto the 90s look. So mainly focuses on the roots area. All right, and this is what I use. It's a dry texturizing spray. Number 4, so as the number 4 hold to it. And then you want to make sure that you shake this up really well. And you spray onto the roots. This will be my finishing spray. Awesome, there you have it. Love this, this is so much fun. So I like to do a deep side part when it comes to this look. So you get really a good height into this. And the ends feel so good. Right. Cool, there you have it, guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and watching this whole video. I'm just gonna do a last spin around for you guys. The hair feels really good. Has a lot of body, a lot of movement. Just gonna correct it, there you go. So I like to push this back. Opens up the face a little more. So, all right, I'm just gonna spin her around. Cool. Thank you for tuning in and hope you guys enjoy this. Take care.